What's going on, folks? Welcome to the latest edition of Nintendo Enthusiast Week in Review. I'm Shawn Long, I'm your host, editor over at NintendoEnthusiast.com, and we got some cool stuff to talk about this week. But also, I'm kind of pissed off about something. I was going to do a full-on rant video, but I figured I'd just include it in this kind of as a mini rant. So we're going to start off with that, then we're going to get into the news, of course the retro game of the week, so make sure you stick around, it should be a good show. And now, without any further ado, let's jump into the show. So like I said, we're going to start this episode out with a little bit of a mini rant. Basically, Nintendo's been pretty proud of their Metacritic score in 2014, and they've been promoting that. They scored really high on Wii U and 3DS games for, most of their titles, and that's something to be proud of. Metacritic is a conglomeration of, top industry people, giving their input on a game, and plus there's user scores for people who have purchased the game so they can share, what they feel about the game. And all of a sudden that's a problem. There's been a lot of articles coming around. Metacritic is bad for the video game industry. Metacritic hurts game sales, and Nintendo shouldn't like that, they're getting high Metacritic scores. So they shouldn't be proud of creating a good game. We should just get rid of video game scores altogether and kumbaya, everything is great. I don't understand where this whole thought process is coming from. When I grew up on video game magazines, GamePro, Nintendo Power, EGM, stuff like that. So that was the only way to really get an indication of how a game was with their score, with their review, with their previews and whatnot. And that always worked. You could always kind of gauge if a game would be good or bad. Sure, reviewers make mistakes. It's really just one person's opinion at the end of the day. But still, you kind of look towards these people and expect a certain amount of professionalism and class when reviewing a game. So if they review a game good, that should be praised. If they review a game and it's bad, that game should be looked at, frowned upon. But it's funny how all of a sudden it's a huge industry thing. It's a huge industry problem with Metacritic. So should we just get rid of review scores altogether? Because really at the end of the day, a review score is just basically summarizing your review text into a score format. So for instance, let's say there's 8 positives and 2 negatives. All right. How do those 2 negatives influence the 8 positives? If it's something simple like, oh, I didn't like this sound, I didn't like this music in this level, there was a couple levels that sucked, okay, maybe that's not such a huge weight on it. But if your 8 positives and your 2 negatives are, oh, the graphics sucked and the game didn't work well, of course that would impact the 8 positives much more. You see, when you're doing a review, it's not so much about those scores, it's more about what you're saying. The text should indicate what the score will be. You shouldn't read that a game was great and then see it get a 5 or something. It's more about how you actually experience the game, how you put it into words, and then your score is what summarizes that. So with companies releasing, $60 betas and, 3-4 patches needed to get, the game going, get it in a stable position, and those games from industry professionals are getting scores like 7 and 8s. But games like Nintendo games, Smash Brothers, Hyrule Warriors, Mario Kart 8, which are complete experiences that don't need any stupid patches, that don't need a bunch of work done on the first day, are getting high scores. That's a problem? That should just show you how this industry is headed, man. That's really just show you how this industry is headed. There's a lot more I could say on the subject, but I'm not going to say it just because it's not really time or place for that. But if you're lucky enough to get on Metacritic, our website just got on Metacritic, and I'm proud of every single person who did reviews for us that got us to that point. And we're proud to be on Metacritic, and we're proud to be setting a standard in the industry, because a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people, they're getting their pockets lined by companies, and they're getting incentives to not give games review scores of higher or lower value. But we're real, all right? We do our games. If a game sucks, a game sucks. I don't care who makes it. I don't care if Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, EA, Take-Two. I don't care who makes the game. If the game sucks, it sucks. And just know that you'll always get a real representation on our website. And even though we are on Metacritic now, I'm very proud that we're on Metacritic. And it's a shame. It's a shame that a lot of game developers and a lot of game websites are talking so harshly about Metacritic as being a bad thing for the industry, when in actuality it's a good thing for the industry. It's a good thing. So we got some new tidbits of information on The Legend of Zelda Wii U, which I wanted to share with you guys and get your thoughts on it. Basically, Numa was talking about the open world aspect of the game, saying basically, Zelda has always kind of been an open world game, it just hasn't been a seamless open world game because of technical limitations. With the Wii U, we're able to exceed that and give an open, seamless world experience. And I kind of agree with that. I've always felt that games like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask to some degree, those games always felt like open world games. You could travel anywhere within your limitations of a character. So I really think a lot of people are kind of expecting the Elder Scrolls sort of open world thing, and I think that's possible with The Legend of Zelda Wii U, just because of the advancements in the hardware. So what do you guys think the open world in Legend of Zelda Wii U is going to be like? Do you think it's going to be, more akin to the older games, or do you think it's going to be something like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, something cool like that? Let me know in the comments below.
This week's Retro Game of the Week is brought to you by PunchOutGaming.com. From retro gaming to modern, PunchOutGaming.com has you covered. Join their Facebook group for the best sales as well. Link in description.
This week's Retro Game of the Week is a shmup on the NES. The NES wasn't really known for great shmups. There were more the side-scrolling ones than the top-down ones, which is what I prefer. But there was one that really managed to stick out. 1943 from Capcom. Yeah, it was a war game, it wasn't space and all that cool stuff. It had real sort of planes in it and stuff. But the gameplay in it is amazing. The game moves at a brisk pace. There's not a lot of sprite flicker. There's not a lot of slowdown. And it's pretty technically impressive on the NES. If you're a fan of shmup games, you should definitely check out 1943 on the NES. Alright, so in a recent interview, Damon Baker of Nintendo of America stated that, speaking on the third-party situation with the Wii U, that yes, Nintendo does want the sports games, the first-person shooter games, games like that on their system, but only if they're done right. And I kind of agree with that. There's no real reason to just make a dumbed-down port of a game that exists on another console when the Wii U has very specific and interesting features that should be taken advantage of. If you're going to take the time to create a game for the system, you might as well use the system to its full capabilities. If you feel that that's not, beneficial to you or not, profitable enough to you, then it's understandable that you would want to skip. But don't create a dumbed-down port and then expect it to sell great, because that never happens. That never works well. So I think Damon's correct in saying that. Damon's a very smart individual. I've spoken with him many times, and I fully agree with him on this sentiment. There's no reason to create a crappy third-party port just to put it on the Wii U when there's many great experiences already on the Wii U that aren't crappy third-party ports. So what do you guys think? Do you think Damon is talking in line? Is that the kind of thing you're interested in? Or would you take, the ports, the simple ports with, no real effort went into them or whatnot? Let me know in the comment section below. Sticking with third-party news, there's been some really cool news about a game called Rodea the Sky Soldier that's actually coming to the Wii U in Japan and the 3DS. The game has now been confirmed for North American localization. Why should you care about this game? Well, probably because the original creator of Sonic the Hedgehog and Nights Into Dreams is creating this game, Yuji Naka. I think I said his name right. Anyways, this game takes a lot of inspiration from Nights from the videos and the screenshots we've seen, so it's a very interesting game. It's very cool, and honestly, it'll probably be the only real third-party game that you'll see on the Wii U that's an exclusive to the system, so you guys might want to check it out. We ran some cool information on the game on the website. I'll put a link to it over here or something. Check out the screenshots, check out the videos, and let me know if you're hyped about this game, because I think it has potential to be a really good game. Finally, there's one thing that we have to talk about that's kind of the sleeping dog in the room, and that's the Amiibo situation, which I can't stand talking about because I'm not a huge fan of Amiibos, but that's besides the point. So, Nintendo has now confirmed that there will be limited edition Amiibos, with one of them being a Golden Mario for only available at Walmart for Easter time. And people get so upset about that. I guess because there's a lot of people, more so than I thought, that are collecting Amiibo more so than playing them. Me personally, I'm more interested in what the Amiibo does for the game itself, as far as if I'm going to purchase it or not. But a lot of people are just collecting them because they're cool collectibles. And, that's cool, man. Do what you got to do. But with over 5.3 million Amiibo shipped out worldwide already, it's obviously a phenomenon that's akin to sort of like the Beanie Babies of the 90s, with people, staking out stores. I remember my uncle used to send me into stores when I lived back in Connecticut, and shipment would be coming in, and I'd be pushing my way because I was a little kid, trying to beat all these old ladies, looking for a Princess Di or Jerry Garcia bear, and it was crazy. And part of me hates it because there's a lot of scalping going on. There's a lot of people that genuinely want the Amiibos, not for scalping, just for themselves, and they're not able to get them. But a part of me loves it just because of the whole aspect of how it reminds me of the crazes. Baseball cards, Beanie Baby, something that really hasn't, Tickle Me Elmos even, something that hasn't been around in a long time, except around Christmas time. So, you know, good luck Amiibo hunters. I know it's hell for you guys, but, you know, have fun with it. You know, you got to remember, at the end of the day, it's really just a figure. Have fun with it, and, you know, try to enjoy yourself. Try to enjoy yourself when you're out there hunting for these rare Amiibos. Alright, and that's really all I got for you guys this week. There was a bunch of other news, I know. There was a whole bunch of stuff coming out of Japan, such as the new 3DS outselling the 3DS XL, outpacing it and whatnot. A whole bunch of other stuff. So make sure you check out the website, especially look at the past 3 days, because our friend Andy has been back. He's just been going crazy on the news. So check out NintendoEnthusiast.com for all your news, reviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Me personally, I'm working on my Kirby review right now. Should hopefully be up by Sunday. And I have a 3-day weekend from the day job, so expect another video this weekend as well. Hope you guys liked the show. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to our page, leave me a comment, hit me up on social media. Do what you gotta do. I love talking to you guys. It's always a good time. And just remember, I'm always right and you're always wrong. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I will see you guys next week. I'll see you guys later this weekend with some other stuff. And yeah, whatever. Have fun. Later.